Hello everyone and welcome to the Not For Hire YouTube channel. Today I'm here with the most requested truck, the most viewed truck, and my most favorite truck of the collection, Jolly Green. And today we're finally getting back to this project and it's time to get this truck on the road. I'm back on the YouTube grind and I think it's time to finish old Jolly Green and get him on the road so I can get him working a little and have some fun. And we can make some good videos. So, alright, here we go. First thing we're going to do is get them out of the weeds and onto some hard ground so we can crawl around underneath them, and we're going to jack the cab up and go from there. I don't like that at all. I forgot to, see, it's a little stuck. I forgot to push that down when I stored the truck, or when I just stopped working on it. Alright, didn't even push on it, just the weight of it. Lower, let's see if we can see that. Lower, raise. Okay, here we go. Haven't done this in a, oh, letting the air out. It's not latch. It should come off of that. Yep. There we go. Do have a latch here though. Oh, that's stiff. Okay, here we go. And I forgot how much work I've done to this thing. If you're just tuning in for the first time, oh man, I gotta remember now. I did all the hoses, silicone hoses. I did the water pump. I did all the belts. I put an AC compressor on it. I put an alternator in it. Painted the engine. I still have to do this oil line. I changed most of the fittings, all the drains. So much work, but it looks really nice. It's still holding up pretty good too. Bad. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is take off the shut-off solenoid and replace it. Okay, I got our new shut-off solenoid here. I'm not going to replace the whole block. I'm just going to replace the solenoid. So I'm going to take these screws out. This wire, I just had a jumper ran to it. I think this is the correct wire. It's coming out of the harness and it's cut off, so I'm going to try to trace this back, try to see where it goes. And then I got a leaking fuel line too, so I'm going to try to take care of all that stuff right now so I don't have to get back in here. Well, it's looking like I'm going to have to change the whole block because I can't get those screws out by hand, I don't think. I just had this thing off too, so, well, years ago, a couple years ago now, but I think it'd be stuck like this. Well, it was an easy job is now going to be a hard job, of course. Of course, the whole thing's going to move. I think that didn't work for a minute. Alright, so decided I'm just going to take the electromagnet off and swap it out. As you can see, this is the Cummins one, and it's got a nice deep groove for the O-ring, and this one's kind of like some cheap stamp or whatever. I don't know, I don't like this. So I'm going to use the better, what I think's the better one with the electromagnet and just swap them out and then put it back on. So yeah. Okay. This one has stamped "Made in USA" in it too. a lot of differences actually. These valleys in there are a lot deeper. Interesting. I mean, I don't know what, I can't remember what this cost, but it was very cheap, so. This is where the money is the magnet, I guess. Got it all back together. And I was able to use the Allen head bolt, so I can get it pretty tight. And it should be easier to come apart if I ever take it apart. But, alright, new O-ring, and then this is my box of O-rings. And then, bolt her in. Alright, I got it all back together. Now I'm going to take the fuel line off. Of course, it'll never go that easy. Got a big adjustable. That should make some people angry in the comment section. What's worse, vice grips or adjustable wrenches? I know you're going to say neither, but I can't even turn it in there. Oh no. Well, I might not even be able to use it. Nope. Try the vice grips. Wow, that thing's stuck. Have to bring the torches out here. Whew. I mean, the line's gonna break, but I kind of knew that anyways. It is leaking. I don't think I need the fittings, so just gotta come off. Okay. That'll come off. Now I got a bolt up in here. Oh, and this side's already broken, so there we go. Just gotta take that bolt out. Ow! There's that piece. These just regular fittings. Oh yeah, nice. How about this one? I was hoping they weren't like, I forgot what it was we were working on. Oh, the coolant system where the lines are not like regular fittings. They're, maybe these aren't either. I don't know. I gotta look at them good, but they look like regular fittings. And when I say regular fittings, I mean like ones that I have that are like fuel line or brake line or whatever. Looks like a bubble flare, I guess, right? I don't know. Double flare. We'll see what I got. Alright, I bent up a brake line, flared it. We're gonna see if it fits in there. Okay, all in, all done. And it looks good. Now I gotta wire or get the wiring for this, see if this has any power to it. If not, make it get power or figure out what this is even for. So let's get on that. Alright, that wire's dead. It's not doing anything with the key on, so I'm gonna trace it back. I'll try to, and see if I can figure out where the ignition switch key or the wire is. But turn it back on when I find it, I guess. Bet you I could find the answers to my questions under here. And I notice this is a Briggs & Stratton key. I mean, all it does is turn it on and off, so. And it gets power, so it's putting out power, so why is it not putting out power to the electromagnet there, the solenoid? So, just gotta, between here and that solenoid, there's a break, so we gotta find it. Okay, I got this all unscrewed. Of course, you can't get under there. It's back there. I never took this side apart. If you guys remember from the last video. So I don't know what's back here. All I know is once this comes apart, I'm definitely putting new foam in there because that's not good enough. And I definitely want some sound deadening. So might as well just rip this right out. Gross. What's up in there? Buzzer. Looks like wiper motor. Oh man. To take this all apart, you gotta take this whole thing out. Let's see if I can get. Oh, duh, idiot. You take this panel off. There, now that I turned my brain on, unscrewed this panel, I can take it off. Alright, I see something connected or disconnected already. That's for the ether, we're not using that. Got the ignition switch. What do you do? Wonder where you go. It's not connected in the back. Ooh, that looks fragile. That's for the lights. Little fiber optics. Starter switch. It's a big red wire. I don't like red wires and blue connectors. That means somebody added something. Where does that go? Red wire, red wire. Red wire, car fire. Let's see. Where's it going? Through the floor. Where do you go? Blue one. Random blue wire. Over there somewhere. Yep, we got some wiring to do here. Alright, it's all starting to come back to me now. This red wire was the one that used to run the ignition switch. And I cut this off because I was having problems with it. And I didn't have a voltmeter like this then. But now, I could see why I was having problems with it. Only 9 volts comes out of this. Let's see what's at the switch. This could have been the problem the whole time. $1180 at the switch. So, well, I guess let's see what's at the battery. 1212. So, a little bit of voltage drop between here and the cab, I guess this would be kind of normal, and something's on. But these batteries could be a little low too, so I did have to charge them a little bit to start it. They are almost 3 years old now, so they just sit around. Okay, so definitely got a problem with that wire. As you can see, I found the wire that puts power. Now it should be off. Which it is basically. But the voltage is low there too. Look at it. That's weird. So I have a ground issue on this engine because if I take and I ground it to the frame, I get more voltage out of that plug. So, but if I ground it to the engine, I only get 9 volts. If I ground it to the frame, I get 12 volts. So maybe there's no ground strap on this engine or something? Where the hell is the ground strap? I thought there was one. Alright. I think I'm starting to figure it out now. This is something we've already touched. That's probably why it doesn't work. There's a ground strap that goes from the starter to the frame. And the one, oh wait, because the one off the truck goes right to the engine. Maybe I gotta take that off and clean it again. I think I should start there. So, yeah, because I get ground through the frame of the truck more than I get ground to the engine. So I got more ground to the truck than the frame, or more ground to the frame than the engine, so that means I got a bad connection at the starter, I think. Let's clean it and figure it out. And I forgot to mention that this is the wire. I dug around in here and I found another wire. I don't know what this one goes to, but I'll just cap it off. But this is the wire. It must have plugged into a pigtail and then plugged into the solenoid. But yeah, so at least I found that wire. Now I'll just strip this and put a plug, or I mean, I'll strip this and just wire it directly to the solenoid. Alright, I pulled the grounds off. This is how it was. I did clean them a little bit, or, you know, pretty good. There's these little wires, though. I'll clean those up a little better. And I'll clean them all up a little better, but... Alright, I was able to pull the 2 small ones up to the top of the frame and wire wheel them really good. I got this big one here cleaned up really good. There's a ground strap. So I'm gonna put it back together now. Oh, and the stud too. It's all clean. I gotta take the starter out and get a new one anyways, I think, but I gotta paint behind it. That's driving me nuts. Alright. That's much better than it was. I had like the little ones in between the 2 leads and stuff, so it had to be fixed. I think I remember back when I did that, I knew I had to fix that. I just forgot. I was just so happy the thing ran. But alright, let's see what we got for voltage now. Alright, I made a little extension for that wire. Oh, that's so nice. Let's see if it works the other way. Alright, I'm letting the cab down for the next thing I gotta do. Hook the clutch linkage up. Okay, here it is, all finished up and painted again. I want to keep everything painted so I can tell when something's leaking or something like that. Or if there's fuel leaking or oil leaking or something like that, it'll be easy to spot on a nice clean engine. So hopefully it'll stay like this for a while. Under here, because a while ago, it was when I took this cover off the top of the transmission to free up the shifting linkage. I think I heated up one of these bolts, probably that one that's new or this one, and I melted I believe this line is for the high and low on the shift knob, and I actually melted the hose and it actually sealed shut on both ends. The transmission doesn't shift high and low, and I'm pretty sure it's in high gear because the thing, like, first gear wants to haul ass. So I'm hoping if I fix this it'll work. If it doesn't, I'm gonna cry because I'm gonna have to take this whole thing apart again. Hopefully, I don't know, I'm gonna be optimistic and just hopefully fix this line and that'll be it. So I gotta find some kind of fitting. It kind of looks like an oil line on like those like 3-pod gauges you get. So I'm gonna see if I have any of those laying around and maybe it'll fit. Okay, turns out it is the same as an oil line. So I have one on the shelf, the little crush fitting thing, I don't know what that's called, and we're gonna install it. Well, that was pretty easy. I did take the elbow off and clean it out. You missed that, but yeah, that looks good. I guess now we'll see if it works. Okay, I went to go start the truck and wouldn't start. And then I thought to myself, well, I touched the positive side too, so maybe that was also bad, which it was. So I cleaned the end on the battery side and I put a new terminal on the power side. Let's see. This right here, I put a new terminal on. This goes to the, like, inside the cab for power. But as I was doing that, I was wiggling wires around and looking at this mess, and I was like, oh man, good thing I don't have to mess with that crap, because that's a big mess. And then I said, oh, there's a wire that goes up to the front. Yep, that's broken. It's broken, but it was actually touching this. And this is for the alternator. So I don't really remember having. It was definitely charging, and you could see where it was like just barely holding on there. So it must have just broke, or it was like touching or something. You can see where it was like rubbing away over here. So now I'm gonna hopefully pull this apart, which I doubt's gonna come apart easy. And I'm gonna put a new end on this and bolt it back on there. Hopefully. Alright, that was the easiest thing I've done to this truck in a while. They both came apart no problem. I put the new end on it, and now it's happy. So let's see if it starts. All right. Well, we got power. That's a good start. Oh yeah, we're charging now. Well, luckily we caught it now instead of on the road, so. I feel like I say that a lot. Alright, air's up. Let's see if this does anything. I heard the air solenoid kick in, but I don't know if it did anything. Oh! I just heard something. Oh, I'm excited. I want to see if it works. Yeah, that's first gear. All right, now we're talking. Now let's see. Didn't do anything. Ooh, that's reverse. Brakes. Alright, that's high gear. Take it out of gear, drop it. Shake off. Alright, I gotta lube up that throttle because it is way too sticky. But it works, so I'm happy. Alright. Sweet. Oh, that's a big relief off my shoulders. I figured if that didn't work, something wrong with the transmission. So at least now we know it works. Alright, I got the wheels so it'll spin. Let's see if this axle works. Oh, it works. Oh yeah, and it didn't fall apart. But you guys know, if you watched the video earlier, or one of the earlier videos, we found a little piece in that front differential, and I was worried about it not working, but it works. So might have a little time with it before I gotta do something about it, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay, I found the problem with the throttle linkage. It was this this end right here was seized, and it bolts up in here, and it well, I'll put it back together so I can show you. Okay, that's how that linkage works. It or That's where that linkage goes. Runs down here, then pushes on another rod. I'll show you. Goes over to here, pushes on that rod, pushes on the throttle linkage. Or actually, it pulls on the throttle. You can see it all working. Pretty fancy. And I thought this like aluminum piece where this metal pivot goes into was seized up, but now, as you can see, nice and loose. So that wasn't too bad. All right, I got messing around after I fixed the throttle. I got messing around with the shifter and ended up taking it all apart. This block that the shifter pivots on, it's supposed to spin on this shaft, is all seized up. Had a spring on it, I took it off. But it's got a pin and then a castellated nut type thing. But to take it off of the truck completely, I gotta take the air lines off. So I just thought I'd take a video just in case I break them. Look how nice they were. Alright. Okay, I got that pin out. This is like the nut thing. Just took it off with a pipe wrench. I thought this had like a liner in it, but it was just a washer. It's like a plastic washer, and I don't see anything between the metal and the aluminum, steel and the aluminum, so that's why it's seized up. Nothing to keep it corrosion from sticking together. I don't know, there's a word for that, a fancy word, of aluminum and steel combining together. But I'm going to try to get this thing to move now somehow. Okay, I got it apart and I cleaned up the shaft there, and I realized there's actually a bushing in this. And it was still nice. And so I'm going to fill it with grease and put it back together. Alright, got it all back together. This was not easy. It really broke my stones. It was not fun, but it's back together. You can see it moves freely now. Before that didn't move at all, so it would just be, you had reverse and forward, and you couldn't move it up to go into the other gears. Alright, we got it all back together. Okay, got Jolly Green's grill here, and I finally got all those rubber mounts to finally permanently mount the grill. So we're going to do that, but before, I want to clean up this emblem and get it painted and everything before I mount this all on. So let's do that. Alright, I got some paint stripper. I'm going to try to get this paint out of there. It's even the wire brush wouldn't break it up, and I don't want to use sandpaper because it's going to scratch it all to hell. So let's try this. Alright, it's working. It's taking a few coats, but it's coming off. I don't know if it's just me or not, but I feel like paint stripper used to be a lot better like 15 years ago. I feel like something changed. Because I remember like putting paint stripper on something and the paint would just wrinkle right up and come right off. I don't know if paint got better or paint stripper got worse or more diluted. Okay, pretty happy with how that came out. It's nice and clean. So now I'm gonna paint it. I got the little mounts installed, I got the grill on, and I'm ready to show you for the first time. Are you ready? It looks so good. It took a lot of time, a lot of sanding, but I'm really happy with how it came out. Now that I got the grill on, and now it's not going to fall off if I move the truck, I got one last job for Jolly Green before we end the video. Looks a little high actually. Just crank it down. Just gonna crank it down a little bit. Closed. Handle is forward. Bolt is flush. And a flat tire. Alright, I'm gonna crank this up. Alright, let's see if Jolly Green can pull this trailer out. No problem at all. Jolly Green's first little short haul. So cool. What a road it's been to even get this far. We're not even, well, I'd say we're about halfway done. Old Red. The 6'2" crew. Shorty. Dumpy. And the mystery S10. This truck is so cool. Absolutely love it. I had to pull this trailer out. I didn't tell you why. Yeah, I had to pull this trailer out because I'm going to be using this machine. I know we haven't talked about this machine yet, but this is my grandfather's. He bought it at the auction. 97 years old, and he finally bought himself a nice tractor. But yeah, so there's gonna be a video on that soon, but it's not really mine. So it's mine, but it's not mine. But anyways, I pulled this out mainly because I was really tired of looking at it. But that is my shed, and it's full of a bunch of crap. And actually, none of it moved. I'm really surprised. But right here, I built this retaining wall, and I want to continue it along, and so it'll structurally, or so it'll support that upper layer for my bus. That video is coming too. If you guys are into like motorhome conversions, I bought a really nice bus that I'm going to convert to a motorhome. But you're going to have to wait for that series. That series hasn't started yet. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. We got a lot done actually, and I think it was a pretty productive video. I may have taken a break from Jolly Green for a while, but I'm feeling right back at home again. I'm right back in the saddle. I really enjoyed working on this truck, even though some of the problems are pretty annoying and you got to keep repeating them. But I mean, if I fixed it right the first time, I wouldn't have to repeat myself. So I think since the beginning of this truck, my skills of working on big trucks has come a long way. So from here on out, I'm kind of going to hold myself to a higher standard and really fine-tune my skills and fine-tune my mechanic skills and pay a little more attention to detail. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of this episode. Hit that like button if you like the video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Until next time. Thanks for watching. Here's a little bonus footage for you guys that stuck around to the end. You guys remember those people that came through and took pictures of Jolly Green? If you remember in the last video, I explained why I had to put all the interior back together. Well, you guys ever heard of a little company called Microsoft? I'll tell you more, but you're going to have to wait to the end of some more videos.